Thoughts on the science of urine therapy, regular basis and during fasting and detoxing. I've read that urine is very healing as it includes antibodies of your own diseases. On the other hand, if you're detoxing, it could have 200 times the toxins.
Right. That's a very perceptive question. The question is urine therapy and when you're fasting versus when you aren't fasting. And I think it's a very interesting point. Is that now NCD's already clipped it off, the toxins, so it's not a problem. But by and large, if you're fasting, you're going to be throwing out more toxins, heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides. That's probably not the best time to drink your urine. So I don't really recommend it at that level until you're really clean. And I would say in general, I wouldn't recommend it until you're really pretty clean. Okay. And the principle of urine therapy is it's kind of like homeopathic. And it also has amorollia. Does anybody know what amorollia is? It's melatonin. So they call it amorollia, and that's a very, that's your own hormone that you're peeing out, and then you're bringing it back in your body, and it's actually good because it helps make serotonin. So there's generally decent, I won't call them science, but a lot of people use urine therapy, and there's a lot of, let's say, clinical testimonials for its effectiveness. Skin, intestinal things like that. I don't know how much real research is done, but intuitively that question is a good question, and don't really recommend it while you're detoxing until you're really pretty clean, because there's so much toxins coming.
Gabriel, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. They both arise out of your book in page 166. There's two things. One thing is, what's your opinion about, what's the issue with magnesium stearate, okay? And I notice it's a product that is in both the vitamin X and, for example, in the fruit salad that you
Right.
get in the
It's
store.
definitely a problem. Magnesium stearate has some negative effect, however slight, on the immune system. And we work as hard as we can to get these companies not to put it in. And we've succeeded some of the time, and sometimes we haven't.
Okay.
But when when you have a product that's so good, we can't get the they're the only show in town, then we'll go with it, because it does have it does affect the immune system, but it's a minor effect. We have
And the other question
I prefer not to have it, and really if there's a choice, we'll go with the product that doesn't have it.
And my second question is about vitamin B12, okay? And if you have to choose, I mean, I know your opinion is about getting the nano B complex, and that's clear about that. But let's say that you don't have access to that, or you have to choose, okay, because of price or whatever reason.
Yeah.
What would you go for? A synthetic vitamin, which I seems like it's not the best idea, or nutritional yeast? I mean, I know both have disadvantages. Still, what would you do better?
Yeah, it's a tough one. At this point, the nutritional yeast has been shown to be successful in protecting against B12 deficiency, and it does break down and has diabetic qualities to it. It creates alloxin, which is a poison to the beta cells of the pancreas. So it's like if you're a person who has a tendency for type 2 diabetes in your family, I would go with the synthetic. But if you have no history of diabetes in your family, I may want to go with the yeast. It's like a choice of two bad choices.
Yeah, I understand the difference and the bad choices involved, but sometimes...
I think the other possibility is to get a food concentrate B12. That's a live B12 that's concentrated from the yeast. And that's a much better choice.
Yeah, but that's not something similar to the nano complex. It's like the...
Well, it's more expensive than the stuff, but you have to put your value system somewhere, and Nano B is more expensive, I believe. You can get the food concentrate tablets, and that should that may be a medium way to approach it.
How about the methylcobalamin?
Well, that's synthetic. That's what I'm saying.
So one question before spiritual transition.
One last question before
Okay.
we go to spiritual.
Cold sores and eczema. Basically, she started taking lysine and she has many outbreaks.
Well, it's hard to, everybody has different causes for why these things happen, but you want to check your acidity. You want to check what foods you're allergic to. You want to check if you're having cold sores in your mouth. You want to check if you have mercury in your mouth, because the mercury leaches out and can cause cold sores. I used to get cold sores when I fasted, and then when all the mercury was taken out, no more cold sores. So there are things like that, and also NCT has been helpful with that. But by and large, you got to look at what else is going on, because you have to look at emotional stress and tension as well. So it's not like, hey, take this one thing and that's going to take care of it. Life just is more complex.